and welcome to Patti Knits and Spins. I'm Patti. You can find me on Ravelry as Pattisand. I have a group, Patti Knits and Spins podcast, so please come and join me. Today is August 23rd, 2014. This is episode 34. There's something different. On today's show, I will be talking to you about the pattern that caught my eye, what's on and off the needles, needle adjacent, what's on the wheel, purchases, stitching, Alaska tail, and whatever else crosses my mind. So let's grab your favorite beverage. Today mine is water and a diet soda because I need both. Grab whatever craft you're working on. Sit back, relax, and let's get on with the show. So the biggest change, as if you could tell, it's standing behind me, is my beautiful piece of furniture that my grandmother gave me since she is moving into a condominium. I remember this piece of furniture when my grandfather was still alive, so this piece of furniture means a lot to me. And since it's there, my stash is in here. Ta-da! There is part of the stash. Most of the stash actually does fit in here. I do have a couple of bins that it has cotton in it and some other stuff that I've had for quite a while that I'm not sure how I'm going to use it, but it's in the other places. I have a sweater's worth in the plastic container next to me and 2 things of worsted weight next to me also. But that is what's new. I was really happy with that. My husband and my sons got it for me this weekend, or last weekend, so that was great. So when I start to do the stash flash, I will have to figure out how I can do that since I don't have it in bins anymore, so that might take me a little bit of finagling to get that done. But I'm really happy with this piece of furniture, and I'm really happy that most of my stash fits in there, because my goal is to get all of my stash in there. That's what I'm searching and working towards. Okay, so let's get on to some knitting, right? I found a pattern that caught my eye this week since I have been working on sweaters. It is called Wink, and it's by Hannah, and I just turned it off, darn it. Hannah, her last name is spelled Maciejewska, or it's Hada, H-A-D-A Knits. She's having a knit along with this sweater, and I really like the sweater. I think it's really pretty. Hopefully you guys can see that. The one thing that I noticed as I was looking at this is that it's reverse stockinette. So for those who do not like reverse stockinette or purling, this sweater is full of it. I think it's beautiful though. I think the way she manipulated the cables is gorgeous. And I don't see any buttons, so maybe there's just an open front cardigan, and that would be nice. This is done in Rios. It takes from 820 to 1,770 yards. It fits a extra small size 30 to an extra 2X 52-inch bust. It uses a US size 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter, to a size 4, 3.5 millimeter. And it is $7. And she's having a knit along, I don't know if I said that, from Hada's Little Corner. So if you like that pattern, you might want to check it out for yourself. And it is $7. $7 US. So what's on the needles? What's on the needles this week is I went ahead and cast on this shawl. And it was out of that silk that I cannot say the name, so I'm not even going to try. It is called the Ocean Blue Lace Wrap. If you do get this pattern like this, the chart is incorrect in the back. So you might want to look at the, it's also written, and it's a 6-row repeat, so once you get it, you've got it. It starts out on a size 11, which is a 8 millimeter, and goes to a size 9, which is the 5.5 millimeter, and then goes to a 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter, and then you go back through the 9 and then the 11. A friend, fellow Fairbanks fiberista, made this, and she said she used it all up, but she didn't do as many repeats. So I've decided how many repeats of each I'm going to do, and hopefully that will work out for me. And it's really hard to see because it's on size 11, and the laces, it looks like cat yak, as everybody says. It is living in my Girl Cave bag with the zebras on it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm going to jump into needle adjacent. I went ahead and have gotten my next pair of socks ready to go. I'm going to be knitting a Truly Pattern Superfine Wool Blend yarn. It is 55 wool, 30 nylon, and 15 rayon from bamboo. And it will be striping up like that. And these will be for me. So I will be using the 2.25 millimeter Addy Sock Rockets. And this is living in a bag I got from Ski Knits, which is Mel. And she has changed her podcast from the Single-Handed Knits to With Mel, I believe. And if it's not, I will either tack it down here what it is or put it in the show notes. I will try my darndest to get show notes in this week. So, there's something missing. Yep, there is a big something missing because I finished it. Last night I sewed in the sleeves to my Deer Isle pullover by Allison Green. I found it in Knit Scene Fall 2014. And as you see that orange, that is where I was last week. I had both sleeves done and that. So this week I knit the whole body and had to keep adjusting it because my row gauge was off, so I had to adjust it for the length of the armhole. Because if I had kept going the way the pattern read, it would have been like 2 inches too big for the armhole. But I had him try it on a couple of different times because, if you remember, I had knit the sleeves on the 10, US 10, which is a 6 millimeter. Well, I started to do that with the body, and it was just way too big. It really made it big. So I went back to the size 9, which is a 5.5 millimeter, and it's fit him. It's a little snug, but I have not washed and blocked this, so it will grow a little bit, and it won't be so snug on him. But I think for my first boy sweater that it turned out fabulous. I would highly recommend this pattern. It was a very easy pattern, and once you had the pattern down, you just kept going. I didn't even use the pattern anymore. I just knit, and just because you can read it, and it's perfect. I used 2 and what did I say? Like 2 and 0.20% of the next ball. This is the 3rd skein. So I used about 1,000 yards for this sweater, and it's Cascades Yarn Eco Plus in the shade 0515, and I have 206 grams left out of a 250 gram ball. So I used maybe 44, 45 yards out of that ball. Not bad at all. So I have this full skein, or this skein plus a full skein. So I have enough probably for a short sleeve cardigan for myself, but I'm not sure yet. Or I can maybe do a colorwork sweater with it. It would be perfect for a colorwork sweater. So anyway, finished. Yay! So I don't have to worry about that because September 20th is our wedding anniversary, and it's ready to go. I am so happy about that. Alrighty, so on the wheel is the Malabrigo Nube A in the Cerza colorway. And I'll show you what that is. Sorry, crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. It is this beautiful reds. Deep, dark, beautiful color. I'll just set that in there for now. So that is the second 2 ounces because the first 2 ounces are on the Joy. Okay, I'll lay that down. Here we go. This is all I have left of the first 2 ounces. And it's spinning up fairly thin again so I can match it with that other skein and do a color work shawl, I believe, is what my goal is for that. Okay, take another drink. And my Into the World August club came in. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you may want to fast forward a little bit because I want to talk about this one. This is called Follow the Butterflies, and I am in the Classic Fiber Club. This is merino comb top, and I love it so, so much. It reminds me of the colorway of the hat I just did with the hand spun. This is what it reminds me of. And I may take this and break it apart and put all of the rose and red together and all of the green, and then spin from green to red, and then maybe chain ply it like I did with the last one like this. So I love this. I love like this. Look at that pop. That color just makes me happy, and it makes me happy in the pink too. I just love it. It's so soft and smooshy. It's so great. It is fabulous. Okay. Sorry. This is like the third take, so my voice is going. Stitching. The third clue for the Mysterious Halloween Town came out this week, and since I was pushing so hard to finish the sweater, I only got a little bit of that accomplished, but I know that now that the sweater's done, I will be able to get that accomplished, and I'll go back and start working on my Heaven and Earth design again. But for now, I haven't touched the Heaven and Earth design, and I'm doing just a little bit of that other stitching. So I'm going to start working heavily on that because I want to get that done. And the fourth clue comes out September 18th. So that'll be so much fun. So the next section is a tale of Alaska driving. So if you leave me now, I'm sorry, I hope you all have a great week. And if you want to hear about my dad's trip to Anchorage and back, stay tuned. We're going to do a little backstory here. Anchorage is 359 miles away from Fairbanks. On Sunday, last Sunday, my dad went down because he had a doctor's appointment on Monday. We have a really good hospital here. We have tons of doctors here, but some specialties you have to go to Anchorage, and sometimes you even have to go to Seattle to get some of the health care. So he had to go do something with his lungs, so he went to Anchorage. He made it fine. Excuse me. There's always road construction on the way to Anchorage, so you know that eventually you're going to have to be stopped and you're going to be sitting on the side of the road, and yeah. So Anchorage takes anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. That's 6 to 8 hours. Okay, so he went on Monday, had his doctor's appointment, got some really good news. We're all really happy about his news. And he started to drive back. He drove back, coming back the same highway. He was 113 miles out of Wasilla, which is 43 miles out of Anchorage. Okay. There was a car accident and a head-on collision not very far from there. I think it said like it was 5 or 6 miles from Hurricane Gulch. And then there was a bus wreck. There is only a few places where the railroad crosses the highway. So it was a tour bus. It needed to stop. The semi didn't stop. It hit it. Nobody was killed. There were some injured. The semi didn't go through the bus or anything. It went to like the back wheel and then it stopped. And it went underneath, so it didn't like smash the whole back end, just underneath by the wheel. So anyway, here my dad is sitting 113 miles from Wasilla, which puts it about 150 miles away from Anchorage, in a broken down truck. So there are ambulances flying by, there are police officers flying by, there are wreckers flying by, there are firemen flying by. My dad had 3 people stop. The first guy stopped, said he would get him some help, and call my mom and let her know that he was fine. Because not only was he on the side of the road, he was in a dead zone. There are a lot of dead zones in Alaska where there's no cell phone service. Another gentleman stopped, and he said he would call and make sure that there was a wrecker coming. And then a work truck came by. He stopped. He said, "Okay, sir, I'll get you a police officer, and I'll get you a wrecker, I promise." So the guy came back several hours later and said, I contacted him, the wrecker's on his way, somebody will get you. 6 hours he sat on the side of the road waiting for a wrecker. Now, in Alaska, there's not very many potty areas. There's not a lot of little towns on the side of the road that you can stop. So when you do stop, there are a few. If you hit it right, you can probably make it potty stop to potty stop. At least I did like about 10 years ago I did that. Flying to Palmer and back in the car. So when you're driving in Alaska, there's a couple of things that you need to have. You need to have a couple spare tires. You need to have water, snacks, blankets, in case you hit a dead zone and you broke down. So 6 hours after he had broken down, the wrecker got there. He had a book, he had water, he had food, so he was good for those 6 hours. He was really bored, but he was okay. He got into the wrecker. They drove 113 miles back to Wasilla, which took them 4 hours. Yeah. So my dad had been broke down for 10 hours. He got into Wasilla at 2:30 in the morning. He paid $176 for the hotel, but because hotels get expensive here in the summertime, yeah, they do. He had left his truck at the Ford dealer in Wasilla. The Ford dealer called him at 9 o'clock in the morning. Or no, he called at 9 o'clock. They got it fixed, I think, by 10 or 10:30. The big belt broke. Plus, one of the gears that it spun around had seized, so that's why the belt broke. So even if he could have fixed the belt on the side of the road, he would still have the same problem. So anyway, he started back to Fairbanks, got stuck behind some road construction, and I think he made it home Tuesday at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So I hope that you all will have heard, if you are driving here in a vehicle, that you have extra water, extra food, a satellite phone, because yeah, you could have gotten it through a satellite phone, but not a cell phone. No. Definitely books, entertainment, and a blanket, because it gets cold when the sun goes down. The tales of Alaska traveling. I hope that you stuck around, and if you did, sorry that was so long-winded, but I thought that you might enjoy that one. I hope you all have a great week, and whatever you craft it to your heart's content. I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.